something to talk about today, so I thought that I would just drive and things that pop into my mind, I'll just blurt them out. So this will be a short clip of random thoughts that instead of thinking them, I'll speak them. And the first one I thought about was, what is the past month or so, the Powerball and the Mega Millions have been in the hundreds of millions of dollars, and I'll buy like 5 tickets on each sometimes, whatever. I don't even know which is which or how much they cost. One's $2 and the other one's $1 a draw or whatever. And I haven't taken any of them in to see if I won anything. I don't play the lottery very often, and when I do, I typically forget to check the tickets. I could be a gajillionaire right now and not even know it. So yeah, I need to definitely get those tickets. What I'll do is I'll just take the tickets in and let them scan them and see yes or no. And typically if I win a handful of dollars, $2 or $3, $5, $10, I'll just roll it right back into some lottery tickets. So I don't know how to gamble very well, so I probably shouldn't. So anyway, until the next thought pops up, I'm going to stop the camera. Just had another random thought, because you talk about something and these other thoughts pop into your mind. And I remember I was stationed in Alaska, and I had to come back to Fort Gordon, Georgia for a school, and some of the guys from my unit came with. And we were talking about, I think it was the Powerball back then, so it was probably like 93 or so, 1993. I believe it was the Powerball, and a friend of mine noticed that I had bought some Powerball tickets, and he said, is that the Powerball? And I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, I don't play that. And I asked him why, and he said, too many people play it, so your odds are really bad. And I kind of looked at him like, I know I didn't hear that right, because your odds of winning are the same whether one person buys it or a bajillion people buy tickets. But I could not convey that information to him in a way that he would understand that. And this is the same guy who I got in I wouldn't much call it an argument, but I can't even call it a scientific discussion, because the guy was about as smart as a box of hair. He said that I made a comment that wind chill doesn't affect inanimate objects. And he kind of looked at me again with the tilted puppy look, and I said, if it's 10 below zero ambient air temperature and there's a steel pipe out in the front of the building, that steel pipe is going to be 10 degrees below zero. I said, it doesn't matter if the wind's blowing 5 miles an hour or 25 miles an hour. And his reaction to that was, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And he said, so you mean to tell me that if I went out there with a blow dryer and put it on that pole and turn it on, it wouldn't heat it up? Okay, so my head's exploding. They got this one vein that really likes to come out when I get upset, and I had to explain to him. I said, it's only going to heat it up to the temperature of the air that's coming out of the hair dryer, whether it's 5 miles an hour or 25 miles an hour. And he still looked at me. I don't buy it. So scientific facts, he's not buying into. But there's other incidents with this guy, but those are the two that stick in my mind the most. So I know people like that, and it is maddening, because you know that you can't explain anything to them, because you're going to drive yourself nuts. So until the next one, I'm going to sign off again. There's another random thought, because I was talking about my friend from the military, so I started thinking about military things. I know we don't have this where I work, but I know a lot of places have it to where your supervisor, or maybe even you, if you're a supervisor, you have to write some kind of evaluations for the people that work under you, so to speak. So if you're a supervisor, if you have guys working with you, you have to write them evaluations. Take this into consideration. I don't know what they are, but if the military didn't teach me anything else, here's one thing they did teach me, is that when I would write we would have to get officers at NCOs had to get evaluation reports. And when I'm writing an evaluation report for somebody, this is a document that helps them stand apart from his peers if they're going before selection for promotion. So, saw some flashing lights. Okay, so if I say that one of my soldiers, you know, Sergeant Frats, did a good job at something, it's weak for me just to say Sergeant Frats passed his PT test. Okay, well, so did everybody else, right? So when you make a evaluation and you use statements like that to, especially if you're in a place where people are booking for promotion or advancement in a job, what you want to do is all your statements that you are bragging about these individuals need to be qualitative and quantitative. And it puts a lot more weight on them. So instead of saying Sergeant Frats passed his PT test, I should throw in there that he made, because these are done every, I think, 6 months or when they leave, or once a year when they leave. So typically you have 2 PT tests a year. So if he happened to take 2 PT tests during that rating period, I would use his score. So let's say he maxed them. So maybe he had an average score of, the max you can get is 300 points. Maybe he scored an average of 298 points on 2 PT tests that he took during that time frame. Or he was responsible for X amount of money worth of equipment on a deployment. Or, because another thing, community service is another good thing to have on a military evaluation. So if you can't just say he volunteered off base at Habitat for Humanity. All right, that's nice. But when you can say that he volunteered over 275 hours of his personal time, whatever the case may be, during his rating period, see, that's quantitative. And qualitative is be like he is in the zone for promotion, or he is in the expert zone for this, or things of that nature. Things of that nature again. I got to get out of that habit. I need some more synonyms. Somebody help me out. So anyway, it's another random thought. I'm sorry if that was too long. I might chop it up a little bit, or even take that out if it's too long. So until the next one. All right, so I want to keep this short. So I'll end it with a joke. And because Sam Smith tells jokes on his vlogs, and I like them, and I thought I'd throw one in here. Not to copy you, Sam. I apologize. So anyway, there's these 2 guys playing golf, and they're having a good time. And they caught up with a couple of ladies that were playing ahead of them, and these ladies were playing pretty slow. So they're waiting on the previous hole for these ladies to finish up. And one of the guys says, "You know what? I'm just going to walk up there and see if we can play through. See if they'll let us play through." The guy says, "All right." So he starts walking up there, and he gets about halfway, turns around and kind of walks back, and the guy said, "Well, why'd you stop?" The guy said, "Man, I can't go talk to them." He said, "One of those women is my wife and the other was my mistress." The guy said, "Oh man, that's messed up." He goes, "Well, I'll go talk to him." So he goes up there, and he gets halfway, comes back and looks at the guy and goes, "Small world, huh?" And with that, I'll let you go.